2021-2022 season. Real Madrid has won their 14th UCL title, beating Liverpool in the final. Manchester City win back-to-back Premier League titles, and the Turkish Super League find themselves 20th in the UEFA country coefficient rankings. This meant that in 2021, the following leagues were considered better in Europe than the Turkish Super League: Croatia's HNL, Denmark's Superliga, and Norway's Eliteserien. Even a country at war, Ukraine, was placed 8 spots higher than Turkey's top flight. With only a measly 3.1 points collected in the 2020-2021 season, which was the least amount of points collected by a top 20 league, you wouldn't be crazy to think that the Turkish Super League was in a downward spiral with no future, and most people would have agreed with you. But fast forward today in the 23-24 season, and Galatasaray have defeated Manchester United at 3-2 at Old Trafford, going second in their UCL group behind Bayern Munich. And Fenerbahce, being one of the hottest teams in the world, is going for 16 wins in 16 matches. The Turkish league has amassed the most points out of every European country in the 23-24 season, and they find themselves at a much improved 9th spot, now ahead of leagues like the Scottish Premiership and the Austrian Bundesliga. I bet you are wondering, how did they get here? Just 2 seasons ago, they were sandwiched between Croatia and Cyprus, and now they are gaining more points than the English Premier League? But to answer your question, we must do a little history lesson on Turkish football. Turkish football is dominated by 4 teams: Galatasaray, Fenerbahce, Beşiktaş, and Trabzonspor. They have won 65 out of 67 Turkish Super League titles together, with Galatasaray winning the most with 23 titles to their name. These 4 teams basically occupy the top spots every season and are the ones with the most money, fans, power, influence, and so on. However, in the 2021-2022 season, Galatasaray had finished 13th and Beşiktaş 6th, meaning that they weren't eligible for any European competition. In 2022-2023, Konyaspor had been eliminated from European qualifiers, losing to a side from Liechtenstein, FC Vaduz, who currently play in the Swiss 2nd Division because Liechtenstein do not have a league. They qualified because they won the Liechtenstein Cup, which they have won 49 times. Trabzonspor had finished 3rd in their Europa League group, but still managed to win some games, such as a 4-0 thrashing of Monaco at home. But things weren't all gloomy, with Başakşehir and Sivasspor winning their Conference League groups against teams like Fiorentina and Prague in their groups, and Fenerbahce winning their Europa League group, but crashing out to the GOATs of the Europa League in the round of 16, Sevilla. This had laid down the foundation for the comeback of the league, amassing 6.7 points and being in a much more respectable 12th position. In the 2022-2023 season, the big boys of the league got back to winning ways, with Galatasaray winning the league title and Fenerbahce and Beşiktaş right behind them. And for the first time in club history, Adana Demirspor had qualified for a European competition, going into the Conference League qualifiers. In the qualifiers was where Turkish teams would shine. In the second qualifying round of the Conference League, Fenerbahce would make easy work of Moldovan side Zimbru, beating them 9-0 in aggregate, while Beşiktaş also did not hold back, winning 5-1 on aggregate against Albanian side Tirana. What surprised people the most, however, was first-time European dreamers Adana defeating a much more experienced side, CFR Cluj. Scraping by on a 1-goal lead, 3-2 aggregate meant all teams went forward. In the Champions League qualifiers, Galatasaray had drawn Lithuanian side FK Žalgiris. Žalgiris would not make easy work for Galatasaray, drawing 2-2 in the first leg. However, Dries Mertens would score a banger to win the second leg 1-0. The third qualifying round in the Conference League had shown no problem for our Turkish teams, with all of them advancing. Adana once again surprised us with a 7-4 aggregate result, where the first leg ended 5-1 for them. Fenerbahce had defeated Slovenian side Maribor quite easily, 6-1 on aggregate, and Beşiktaş once again showed no mercy to Azerbaijan side Neftchi Baku, winning 5-2. In the third qualifying round for the Champions League, Galatasaray had drawn Olimpija. Galatasaray made quick work of them, winning 4-0 on aggregate, bringing all Turkish teams to the playoff round. In the playoff round of the Conference League, Adana Demirspor had drawn a mighty challenge, Genk. The first leg in Belgium had seen the Turkish side lose 2-1 because of a 93rd minute goal. In the second leg, in Adana, the scenes were set. The match ended 1-0 for Adana and extra time was given. Still, the two sides couldn't break the deadlock, bringing the match to penalties. Adana were one penalty shootout away from making it to their first ever group stage. But their dream was over. Belhanda had missed the penalty, and even though they lost 5-4 on penalties, you couldn't bash this team. They showed determination and fought until the very last moment. Then came the Fenerbahce match against a tough side from the Netherlands, FC Twente. Fenerbahce wreaked havoc on them, winning 5-1 in the first leg and 6-1 on aggregate. Besiktas also continued their winning ways, going against Ukrainian side Kiev. Two hard-fought legs had seen Besiktas make it through 4-2 on aggregate. In the playoff round for the Champions League, Galatasaray had drawn Erling Haaland's old club Molde. Galatasaray would travel to Norway for the first leg, heading 2-2 until the 93rd minute, where Mitsjo would score to give the Turkish side the lead heading into the second leg. In Istanbul, Icardi and Angelino would be the heroes, both scoring to win 2-1 and making it to the dreamland of the Champions League. Fast forward to today, and Fenerbahce are easily group favorites. Galatasaray shocked the world and could even make the knockouts, and Besiktas, well, there are a couple problems. But to be 20th just 2 years ago, with the future looking bleak, most Turkish fans would be very happy to find out that they're back in the top 10 with an automatic UCL spot for the Champions League next season. And also, having the most points this season, if they could keep it up, would grant them another UCL spot because the top 4 best leagues will gain an extra spot due to the change in the Champions League format. So, what do you guys think will happen to Turkish teams this year? Will Turkey claw its way back to former glory, or are they recklessly overspending? Let me know in the comments below and subscribe and like for more videos like this.